And now for the latest developments in the United States, we cross to our senior U.S. correspondent, Mike Wagenheim, in Washington. He's outside the White House. So, Mike, the Jewish community in Croatia has been concerned about its safety over the Passover holiday earlier this month. It turns out the Trump administration behind you came to the rescue here, so to speak, a story that you yourself broke. Talk us through how it all unfolded.
Well, this is a complicated story, Benita. It goes to a difference of, first off, two communities within Croatia itself. The long-established Jewish community there, which operates under the auspices of the World Jewish Congress, and the more recent Chabad community, which is located as well in the capital of Zagreb. Well, the Chabad community has been calling now and applied a year and a half ago for what's called recognition of a minority community. It's something established under Croatian law that affords extra protection and extra rights to minority communities in Croatia. However, the Croatian government has not acted on that application, again, for over a year and a half now. No yes, no no, no feedback, no nothing. Meanwhile, the Chabad house in Zagreb continues to go without police protection, unlike other Jewish establishments in Croatia. Well, the reason why? There are theories. Number one is that there is some sort of rivalry between the World Jewish Congress and the Chabad community there. The World Jewish Congress representatives in Croatia vehemently denied that to us, and there's no specific evidence of that taking place. Another theory is that the Croatian government doesn't want to open up this recognition to multiple Jewish communities, because if they do, they'll have to do the same thing with other minority communities, and it means extra responsibilities and extra expenditures. Regardless, the Trump administration stepped in after Rabbi Pinchas Zaklis of the Chabad community there in Zagreb called for American support here through an intermediary, Duvi Honig, who heads up the Orthodox Jewish Chamber of Commerce in New York. Honig used his connections to the Trump administration. We saw text messages from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, along with Deputy Secretary of State Chris Landau and Republican Congressmember Chris Smith of New Jersey, all showing their support and saying they would get involved. Well, lo and behold, on the Tuesday of Passover, the anti-Semitism advisor to the Croatian prime minister called Rabbi Zaklis there in Zagreb and said, by tonight, a police car will be outside the door. And in fact, it's happened. Now, it's not permanent. And the Chabad community still calling for the American administration to put more pressure on the Croatian government to finally approve their application for official minority recognition status. But again, the U.S. able to get the job done in this particular case. The embassy in Zagreb told us that the U.S. government is a strong advocate for religious freedom for all, and the U.S. embassy in Zagreb aware of the Chabad community's request for registration. They urged the government of Croatia, they told us, to evaluate and respond to that request in line with Croatian law. Meanwhile, just on Friday, the Prime Minister's office there in Zagreb sent an email out to Duvi Honig, who's been acting as the intermediary in all this. They attributed their change of heart to what they called an anti-Zionist rally that recently took place outside of the Croatian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which they say led to Croatian intelligence and the Interior Ministry there in Croatia to assess that, in fact, security should be provided for the Chabad community. They said they had the resources within the Interior Ministry to provide 24/7 protection, and they intend to provide permanent security now for the Chabad community. Again, though, still they're pressing for that application to finally be approved, because if there are budget cuts, if there's a new government, you never know if promises by one government will be kept by another. So still, the battle goes on for protection there in Zagreb. But at least for now, police protection remains outside the door of the Chabad house in the Croatian capital.
That certainly is great to hear. Thank you so much for that update. Senior U.S. correspondent Mike Wagenheim updating us from the White House in Washington. Thank you, Mike.